Hello everyone. In my previous video, I have talked about the 5 general morphological processes of word formation. In today's video, I shall be talking on word formation processes in English in particular. My name is Dr. Nabarun Ghosh. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of English, Jagjivan College, Veer Kumar Singh University, Ara. So far as the word formation processes in English are concerned, there are 9 types of processes. They are, as you can see on the screen, acronymy, clipping, blending, borrowing, back formation, word coinage, functional shift, morphological misanalysis, and eponymy. Let's take these formation processes one by one. The first one is acronymy. Acronymy is a process whereby a new word is formed from the initial letters of the constituent words of a phrase or sentence. For example, NAAC, NAC. See, the first alphabet of each word is taken and formed a word. N stands for national, A stands for assessment, and again A stands for accreditation, and C stands for council. Here the conjunction and is ignored. Generally in acronymy, conjunctions prepositions are usually ignored. So NAC stands for National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Acronyms can be pronounced as word. For example, NASA, that stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And sometimes the acronyms cannot be pronounced as words. In fact, most of the times acronyms can be pronounced as alphabets, such as COD. We don't say code, we say COD, that stands for cash on delivery. IIT, we do not pronounce it as it, we pronounce it as IIT separately, all the alphabets. Indian Institute of Technology. Similarly, CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, etc. Acronymy is a common thing in English. Usually, most of us use it knowingly or unknowingly every day. For example, most of the university names are acronymed, such as BHU, Banaras Hindu University, JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and others. Next process of word formation in English is clipping. Clipping means trimming or pruning. So new words are formed here by shortening other words. The shortening is called clipping. This clipping can take place initially or finally, sometimes both. For example, initial clipping in the word telephone, the part tele, it is clipped and we pronounce it only as phone instead of telephone. So tele is clipped and the phone word is formed. Another example is airplane. We don't pronounce air and we just pronounce it only as plane. Similarly, omnibus, we just say bus instead of omnibus by clipping the omni part. So these are examples of initial clipping. Clipping can also take place finally, such as examination. Instead of saying the full word examination, we just say exam. Laboratory is the full word, but after clipping we just say lab. Some examples are there where clipping takes place both initially and finally, such as influenza. We just say flu instead of influenza. We clip from the beginning as well as from the end. In and enza, both these parts are clipped and the remaining part, that is flu, we use that flu only, such as swine flu and Spanish flu, bird flu. These are the examples. And sometimes spelling is adapted, such as university. It is an example of initial clipping. Instead of saying university, we just say varsity, but see, the spelling is changed in varsity. It is not VERSITY but VARSITY. So the new spelling is adapted here. This is one example of clipping, and sometimes spelling is adapted. This is one example of spelling adaptation. Clipping and spelling changes. Sometimes see the word refrigerator, where initial and final clipping take place here, and the remaining part fridge. We do not write FRIGE, instead we write FRIDGE. So the spelling has changed in this clipping. Next process of word formation is blending. Blending means mixing. Blending is the process of word formation whereby part of a word is mixed with part of another word. Usually the first part of a word with the last part of another word. But the newly formed word contains the meanings of both the original words. See, this is important. Word is formed by blending out of two words. The first part of one word is taken and the last part of another word is taken, and these two parts are joined together and a new word is formed. But after forming this word, the meaning of both the words remain in the newly formed word, such as motel. Here it is a blending of motor and hotel, where both the meaning of motor and hotel consists. Similarly, smog, it is formed out of smoke and fog. Brunch, it is a breakfast and lunch. Sorry for the spelling, it is breakfast. What is brunch? Actually, it is a combination of breakfast and lunch. What is breakfast? The meal that we usually take after waking up in the morning. That is fasting, that is breaking the fast, the breakfast. And what is lunch? Lunch, that the meal that we usually take between 12 o'clock to 2 p.m. in the noon. So instead of taking breakfast and lunch separately, many people take brunch. What is that? A meal that is first of the day, and that is not taken early in the morning and not late in the afternoon. So in between morning and afternoon, for example, let's say 10 o'clock, that will be brunch. Heliport is another example. The next process of word formation in English is borrowing. Borrowing is taking loan, adapting from other languages. See, this adaptation of words from different languages with sound and meaning. Mango. Mango is not an English word originally. It is a Spanish word. The word is taken from Spanish language. See this data, nearly 70% of 80,000 English words are loan words. It is a big figure. Out of 80,000, 70%, that means nearly 56,000 words are loan words. That is, the words are taken from other languages, and mostly English words are taken from French and Latin. There is a political reason behind that. What happened is, England was previously known as Great Britain, and it was ruled by French and Latin rulers during Anglo-Saxon and Anglo-Norman age. So the language of the rulers became the official language of the part which is known as England, and the influence of the ruling language came into English. That's why the words from French and Latin came into English language. The purpose of borrowing is to fill the semantic and lexical gap. Example such as food items and musical instrument. See the word roti. Roti is a South Asian or Indian word, and there is no concept of roti in English. English people didn't take roti as a food, so there was no such word which defines roti. That's why the word is directly adapted to English language. Similarly, pizza. Pizza was not there in English, it was an Italian food, and the food item or the word is adapted into English language. Musical instruments such as tabla, again an Indian word. There is no such word which defines tabla in English. So the word is directly adapted to English. Piano is an Italian word which is directly adapted into English. Back formation. In this process, new words are formed by the deletion of a supposed affix from an already existing word. After the process, the word changes its part of speech. So, what is this back formation? It is the type of formation where word is formed by going backward. See, for example, the word editor. Previously only editor word was there, but there was no such word called edit. But linguists thought that in the word editor, or is an affix. It was a supposed affix, but actually it was not. Then they have created the word edit from editor by deleting the supposed affix or, and the part of speech also changed. Editor is a noun, edit is a verb, enthuse is a verb which the word is created by back formation from the word enthusiasm. Similarly, donate, revise, form, create, all these verbs are created from donation, revision, formation, creation. Now let's come to word coinage. What is this? Intentional or unintentional creation of words, such as Xerox. There is no such word in English called Xerox. Xerox was actually a company which produced machines of photocopy, the machines which are used for photocopying documents. So we to follow the grammatical correct, to follow or to say it grammatically correct, we must say that please make a photocopy of my document. This is grammatically correct. Please make a photocopy of my document. But instead of saying that, most of the time or many of the times we say, please make a Xerox of my document, or please Xerox my document. We use Xerox as a verb, but Xerox is actually a name of the company. Similarly, Google, we say let's Google it. Instead of saying let's search for the answer on Google. Google is a company, it is not a word. But now now the name of the company has been adapted as a word. So this is word coinage. Similarly, escalator and nylon, they are also examples of word coinage. Now functional shift. What is this? Same word functions as different. See the two sentences here where the same word water is used. Please give me a glass of water. Here water is used as a noun. In the next sentence, I shall water the plant at 5 p.m. Here the word water is used as a verb. So it is the same word whose function shifts from one part of speech to another part of speech. In the previous sentence, that is in the first sentence, water is used as a noun, but in the second sentence water is used as a verb. So there is a shift as per its function. This is called functional shift. Now in functional shift, change in spelling and pronunciation can take place. Bath is a noun, bathe is a verb. Here it is also an example of functional shift where the spelling is changed and at the same time pronunciation is also changed. Breathe and breathe, breath and breathe, advice and advise. Advice is a noun. Advise is a verb. Again, change in stress and vowel sound in multisyllabic words. You must be knowing that a syllable is a word or a part of a word which can be pronounced in one puff of breath. In the word address, we can say it can be used as a noun as well as a verb. But if we use the word address as a noun, then we have to pronounce the second syllable with stress or with emphasis, like address. But if we use the same word as a verb, then we must pronounce it as address. So we see there is a change of pronunciation, the vowel sound is changed, and at the same time stress is also shifted from second syllable to first syllable if we use noun and if we use it as verb. Morphological misanalysis. Morphological misanalysis or false etymology is the process whereby new morphemes or words are introduced into the language due to an erroneous analysis of the structure of some words, in which the language speaker seems to see or hear familiar elements. It has to be understood by an example. See this word burger. The word burger is believed to be a suffix to hamburger. Hamburger is a word, but the linguists thought that burger is a suffix, and the word hamburger is a compound word where ham and burger are joined together. But actually, the word hamburger is not formed like that. Hamburger, it is a food without ham in it. What is ham? Ham is the meat of pig. It was first produced in Hamburg, Germany. That's why the name of the food is hamburger. But linguists thought that it is a compound word consisting of two morphemes, ham and burger. So instead of using ham, we can use other things and join with burger, then we can produce or form new words. This is morphological misanalysis. That's why instead of ham, cheese is added to burger and cheeseburger. Similarly, fish burger, chicken burger, these words are created by thinking that ham is an ham and burger are two different morphemes which are joined together to produce a new word, but actually that was not. So this is a misanalysis. Now let's come to eponymy. What is eponymy? Eponymy is words that it is a process of forming words where words are formed in the names of persons. Examples: Washington DC. What is that? It is the name of a place, and the name is given. The name is taken from George Washington, who was a politician in the United States of America. Similarly, Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is the unit of measuring temperature, but the word is taken from Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. It was the name of a person, and he invented that technique. That's why Fahrenheit word came from his name. Similarly, Nobel. We know Nobel Prize. That Nobel word is taken from Alfred Nobel, who created dynamite. James Watt is used as a word, and diesel. The word came from Rudolf Diesel. And Freudian slip. That word came from Sigmund Freud, the father of modern psychology. So that's how we came to the end of this video, and I must acknowledge that the major part of this video is based on an article written by Professor Arjani Zapata, and if you want to read the article, you can go to the link which is given here, and I will put that link in the description box also for your convenience, and I hope that this video will prove to be of some help for your understanding of word formation processes in English. Thank you very much for listening to this video.